Check, mic check, 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Platform Podcast. As always, I am your host, Dex. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to go hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a follow, leave that 5-star review, and put any comments on the show with who you want to see on upcoming shows and any questions that you got for the guest. Before we get started, I've got to give a big shout out to Make It Now Media, our brand partner for the show. So venues, agencies, DJs, artists, any graphic design work that you need, they'll get you all taken care of. Hit them up, use the code PLATFORM. They'll get you all set if you need a new logo, EPK, event flyers, anything like that. Go talk to Make It Now. Now today on the show, joining me, I've got a brand new up-and-coming artist living here in Nashville. Been knowing him for a while since I've been at Barstool. He's taken over, putting out new stuff for the hip-hop game. He's got a bunch of new tracks that he's putting out this year, and he's already released 2 in 2024 right now. I've got Flaco2Tall with me on the show today. How's it going, man?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here, bro.
Thank you. I'm so happy to have you on the show. I know we've been talking about it a lot just in and out of Barstool while you're there, and happy to have you take the time to sit down and chop it up and give me a little insight on what it's like being a hip-hop artist here in Nashville. So before we get started, man, just let these listeners, let these viewers know a little bit about you, where you're from, how long you've been in this music industry, and just tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, happy to be here, bro. Real shit. I don't know if I can cuss on here or not,
Yes.
but thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm a big-time cusser, so
okay,
yeah, feel free.
I'm nervous. I'm not used to being on camera like this yet. So, forgive me if I stutter step or, however. I grew up in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Depending on who you ask, you'll get different answers as to where I'm from. I got a lot of love in a lot of different places. Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Florida. I got family all over, but I grew up in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Ex-hooper, turned rapper, turned trapper, turned back rapper. I don't know, man. Let's get into it. Where we at?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of topics lined up for you. So obviously we're going to talk a little bit about hip-hop and just being in the music industry. My show is typically centered around the music industry, being that I'm a DJ. So that's going to be a lot of what we talk about. And then getting into some of these projects that you have going for you. So what you got for the rest of 2024, what you've put out already in 2024. And then with the music industry right now, social media content, branding, that kind of stuff is almost a must. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that. And then for somebody like you, who you really do it all with your production. I mean, obviously you're writing your own stuff. You mix and master everything yourself, which is pretty uncommon, I feel like, for most artists.
I just don't trust anybody, bro. I just don't trust anybody else with my shit, bro. That's really what it is.
But it's also makes you a lot more versatile as an artist, to be able to do a lot more things. So we're going to get into the creative process that you have and just how you go about making a track from start to finish. Outside of that, man, we got a couple questions lined up for you that I'll hit you with some rapid fire. Some music now. We'll play a little game of new heat or delete, where you can tell me if these songs are going to be something that you're going to add to the rotation or if they're trash and they just got to get thrown away.
Bet.
And then lastly, I like to have every guest put somebody on a platform. So just somebody that you want to shine a little spotlight on. Let these listeners, let these viewers know a little bit about them. So to get started, man, let's talk about it. I mean, here in Nashville, being in the hip-hop industry, in a city that's predominantly dominated by the country music scene. I mean, that's what most people are coming here to visit for, is to come here and listen to country, go see these different bars that are from these country artists, and just kind of party and listen to that style of music.
Yeah.
I mean, how long have you been here in Nashville? Where were you at before? And just kind of what are the differences here in Nashville trying to make it as a hip-hop artist versus some of these other cities that you've lived in?
So Nashville being as country as it is was one of the reasons I was so skeptical to coming here at first, because I'm from all these different places down south. When you hear Nashville, you hear country. They're like, oh, you're a rapper, you're going there, it's not going to work. In my head, why not? You know what I mean? Like, I have all the tools, everything you need, everybody you need to meet is here. Now, if you're, I feel like there might be a little bit of like gatekeeping going on at the very top, but for the most part, Nashville has changed so much. There's so much diversity and like so much going on now. It's honestly ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like opportunities anywhere you can find it.
Yeah.
And if you're afraid to go find it, that's on you. Then say that. You know what I mean? But like, I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in the ocean. You know?
Yeah. I mean, when we were talking before, just of like you living in Atlanta, where it's like that could be very different, where that is a much more hip hop centered city, where then trying to make it as a rapper, a hip hop artist of any kind there, I feel like the competition has to be a lot bigger there, where there's negatives and positives to it. Like, yeah, that might push you a lot more because you have to try harder with that much competition versus here. I'm not saying that there's not competition here because there definitely is, but I almost think with how Nashville is now, like there's so many different record labels here. There's so many different studios. There's a lot of people that you can collaborate with. And I feel like that's one of the bigger things with Nashville is that a lot of these artists are so willing to collaborate too. Yeah,
that's one of my favorite parts I think about it so far is just like the feedback I've gotten from it and everybody that wants to help along the way. Like I'm used to coming from places where like the next guy is trying to knock the next guy off. You know, nobody wants to see anybody eat if they're not eating.
Yeah.
Or like as far as like in Atlanta, like, there's everybody and their mama trying to rap in Atlanta. But there's certain people you have to go through to kind of try to make it to that next level. Like, you can do it independent and it's possible and you can, sign your deals out. But like there's a main 3 or 4 people you really got to be able to go through to even try to get to that next level in Atlanta, which is cool. If you know the business, if you know how to move, if you know how to network in Atlanta, it's different. Like networking in different cities is very different because people are different, cultures are different.
I mean, that kind of goes into the gatekeeping that you're talking about where, I mean, if they don't want to help you, you're kind of just stuck.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to go up if you can't get through these certain people. I mean, talk a little bit about you. You basically were self-taught for the most part coming up. I know you just went through school out here for music production. But up till then, I mean, everything that you've learned is basically all self-taught, right?
Yeah, all self-taught, all groundwork, footwork, networking, exposure events. Like when I was in Atlanta, I got to perform at a lot of different shows, concerts, venues. I got to open for a lot of cool people. Eventually, I was able to network and kind of work my way into some festival circuits. Like I got to do Bonnaroo once, and I got to do South by Southwest, which that changed my life back in 2017 because I got to really see like how people are really moving, like how artists are really moving to try to jump through these hoops and get to that next spot or get to that next level.
Yeah,
that's what really changed my life. I hear it's not as good as it used to be. As far as like the festivals and stuff, I don't know, COVID messed a lot of that up and a lot of people aren't showing up anymore.
Like specifically for hip hop festivals or for just everything that's been out here?
Really everything.
Yeah.
It's just it's a different vibe. Like it's not as much networking going on as it is showcasing for sure.
Yeah.
But people are just not as inept to jump on board these days.
Okay. Have you done any of this the stuff at like Skydeck? I know that they've been starting to do like a hip hop night.
I have not done Skydeck yet.
Have you heard about that though?
Yeah. Okay. Shout out Cody Chaos.
Yeah.
He invited me. He wants to do some stuff. He wants to throw some of my stems and mix it up and get a show going out there. But he brought it to my attention for real. I didn't even know it was a thing for a while. And I saw like the clips and the videos and content that's coming out of it. It's really cool. It's a lot of people out there. Like, you never know who's going to actually be out there watching you.
Yeah.
Now, am I nervous? Hell yeah. Am I out of shape? Hell yeah. But, I mean, we're going to get it done.
Yeah, because I know Mayo is the one that's, like, DJing a lot of those events.
Yeah.
He's hit me up for it just to come through. But it sounds like it's a really cool event, especially for here in Nashville that's trying to put on specifically hip-hop artists, like local hip-hop acts, in the city, letting them perform and giving them a platform to kind of to show off to the city of Nashville,
which is dope.
Yeah, it's really cool. What have you all done up to this point? Because like I said earlier, like you're a man of many different hats where you are obviously writing your own stuff, you're producing your own stuff, you're mixing it, you're mastering. Is this something up to this point where like right now you're only doing stuff for yourself? Have you been doing stuff for other artists?
So I'm stingy when it comes to my producing. I do like mixing and mastering like other people's stuff. Like it gives me one hands-on practice, you know, just to only get better and better. And, you know, I pull some of my tools out the bag that can help them, or maybe their song is different. I can learn some new stuff and, you know, add it to my arsenal along the way.
Yeah.
Is it something I want to do later in the future? Absolutely. Like when it's all said and done through all of this, I want to be able to basically be a one-stop shop, like whether it's like the producing, mixing, mastering, the marketing, the management, like everything. I want to be able to put the next guy on once my time's up. You know what I mean? But I want to get it first my way.
Yeah. So is that something that you're looking at down the line in the future? Is either like making your own studio, making your own agency, stuff like that?
Absolutely. Later down the line, like I really want to try to run my own label.
Yeah.
And like just like I know a lot of artists. I got a lot of artists coming. People do ask for help all the time. They're asking me for help, and it's cool because it always comes first full circle. Because once upon a time, I was the guy that needed help or needed the answers, and I got tired of not having them and having to wait on the next guy for the answers. So I just went and learned the shit myself.
Yeah,
and that's essentially where all that came from. Was I just got tired of waiting.
Yeah.
So I went to Dark Horse Institute that's out in Franklin. They're great. Shout out. They're absolutely great. Learned everything I need to know to get my shit moving. But yeah, once I figured it out, I just went on to networking and just started releasing, and everything I learned, I'm just putting into play every step of the way.
Yeah.
So,
what's the program like over there? Tell me a little bit about it. Like, how long is it? What are you all learning there?
well, they just extended it. It was a 6-month program. Audio, I believe, is 6 months.
Okay.
And then music business was 4 months.
Yeah.
I think they just extended it by so many weeks, though.
So you're
they
looking
added,
at almost
they added
a year
more.
total.
Yeah. They also have a songwriters program.
Okay.
I didn't take that. I felt like I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But for people that aren't so savvy or don't really understand, I mean, they really have something for everybody.
Yeah.
They're even going to open up a videography portion, overall, like just content creation and everything. It's a really cool place, really cool school, really cool studio. The studio's magnificent. It's beautiful. It looks like you pull up, it looks like Kids Next Door, like treehouse, everything's, Nashville, like what it all looks, you know what I mean? But
I'm like, Franklin's a nice area.
yeah, it's
so,
nice.
Yeah.
It's out in the cut. It's away from everything and everybody. I mean, I'm happy with the experience I got over there. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just kind of sharpening your tools and making you learn a lot more, and then where now you're at the point where the tracks that you've put out this year, the stuff that you've sent me, the stuff that I am able to play, it all sounds good. And that's being played on club speakers in front of an entire crowd where that's like a really good test for it.
Yeah, that's pretty lit, by the way. Shout out you.
I know I'm not the only one, but it's dope.
Look, a couple years ago, where it was when I was in Atlanta trying to do it all myself, it did not sound how it sounds. I would go out to different studios and I'd have other guys, do my stuff. And even when I'd get those mixes back, they're not necessarily what I wanted to sound like.
If I were to play something of yours out in the club, like,
oh God,
you're hearing it yourself and you're being like,
I mean, all the low end, all the high end, all the mids are all boosted. Like I had no idea. I didn't even know what a fade was at that point in time. I didn't know how to fade out. You got the chops in the middle of the track. Like, it was not anywhere close to what it is now. But I feel good about what I have now. Now it's just about making sure like the master is like, I mean, essentially club ready. Like, because like I can check it on a million different speakers that I have at the house and
car tests,
the car tests and like different studios. But when it hits the club speakers, it is a different ball game, and it will expose everything if you don't have it right. Like even now, even some of my mixes now that are pretty good, like even I still hear like little stuff that I'm like, I wish I could have like went back and maybe changed that.
Yeah.
But it's good. Everybody else likes it.
Yeah.
So as long as nobody else exposes me, it's good to go, man.
But that's what like you will end up picking up. Like I'll listen back to like mixes that I've recorded.
Yeah.
And just be like, fuck, like I messed up that little spot. And the general public they either don't have the ear for it or they just don't even hear it. Where then like you pick it up because that's how you are, being like hard on yourself and wanting to make this product that
super
is
critical.
Yeah, to the quality that you want it to be, which is awesome. So, I mean, tell everybody there's 2 songs that you put out so far.
Oh, bet. All right, so
Let's get hyping you up, man.
We got Pick and Roll out right now. Shit is a bop. Go get that. And then I just dropped Every Great Story. I think it's been a month now.
Yeah, I feel like even
a little
over
over a month,
yeah.
maybe. So Every Great Story, Pick and Roll. Both of these songs are actually have been redone. So these are some songs I've had in the vault, in the arsenal for like a while, from like back when I was like doing the things that I'm talking about in these records.
Yeah.
And they just songs that have kind of been close to me, that I knew if I was going to start doing my music again, like I want to do it right. I want to be able to kind of tell my story as it goes along. So I got those and a couple other older ones that I want to dish out first. Not like older, like I redo a little bit of it and kind of like revamp it, retell it, new beats, new instrumentals, stuff like that. But just things that been on my heart that I really want to get out first.
Okay.
And then I got a whole vault of like new stuff to kind of like speed and tell the story along. Eventually I want to catch it up to like where I'm at now. It's going to take like a little bit, but I think I'm heading in the right direction for people to really understand who it is that I am and what I've been through and where I've been in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get it from A to Z right now.
Yeah. And just tell that whole story. Yeah. I mean, obviously I've heard Pick and Roll. I love the beat for Pick and Roll.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about like what's changed, because I didn't even know this. So like from the original version to now, I mean, is it a whole new beat and everything, or what?
Yeah. So for
Really?
these two beats, I didn't produce these 2 beats. I actually had Beast Inside Beats, shout out. Met him through like social media, and I've been working on his beats for like forever, right?
Yeah.
The original beat, I couldn't actually go back in and find like the original stems to, right?
Okay.
And I was gonna
You
mix.
don't have the file for it anymore?
I couldn't get it. My engineer can't find it because
Damn.
he redoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Back up your hard drives, everyone.
Real shit. Like, bro. But the difference between the new and the old version, the new one's way faster paced. I think the BPM is way
because it's 89.
way more up tempo.
What was the old one? Like 70, 65? What are you?
Somewhere down there.
Okay.
Everything was a lot stretched out. My words were a little stretched out. Which I like the up tempo better. I like anything that makes you want to like get up off your ass and go like do some shit, go hustle, go make some money, whatever it is. So I like the overall vibe to it. Now, Every Great Story, it's on the same beat, but with some like
that's
minor,
like 81 or something. Yeah.
with some minor changes made to it. But I completely relayed down, like the vocals are all new, everything's new on there, like the panning, the saturations, the specific plugins we used.
So you're basically making a whole new project. Yeah.
Pretty much. Like I know what I want to say. It's just like getting it to sound how I need it to sound. For real.
I mean, for these 2 that you've released this year, I think reaction wise, like they both get a really good reaction in the club. Pick and Roll, for me personally, I think is a more like club friendly track.
Yeah.
When you are making these, like, is that something that you think about now? Is it like, hey, where am I gonna fit this track into? Is this gonna be a track that people are listening to when they're like in the car? Is this something that people are gonna be able to go pop bottles to in the club? Is this something that like you're just chilling and hanging out at home and you just want something to vibe to? Is that something that goes through your creative process when you're writing songs, when you're picking beats for songs, all that kind of stuff?
Not necessarily in the process, but like after the fact, after like the final product is done, it's like, okay, what am I going to do with this?
Okay.
Where am I going to put it? Where is it going to go? You know, everything's obviously going Spotify. Everything's getting playlisted.
Yep.
Going up like that. But will this work in the club?
Yep.
Will this work at a festival? Most of the time the answer is yes. But even like Every Great Story. Every Great Story is a great song, great story. It's fun, it's playful. It's not necessarily a club song. Not for real. But late at night when the drinks are rolling and everybody's having a good time, that bitch goes. You know what I mean? So it's just for me, just trying to keep it as up tempo as possible.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like, as far as I got some slower songs in the vault as well that are gonna come out and be released. I don't expect those, you know, to play in the clubs in different places. I might not even necessarily like promote those the exact same way that I promote, you know, Pick and Roll, making sure it's in your face every 2 days or whatever it might be. But yeah, it just definitely depends on the song for sure.
Yeah, because even thinking about like the content that you've been putting out for Pick and Roll, and just like using the videography that you've been doing with like Winning Production guys, and just making those short little clips where it's like that could be a completely different rollout for another song that might not be as upbeat as those songs are. Where I think of like a Four Bats or like a Rod Wave type song, or like a Four Bats has been putting out, like everything that he's been putting out is all like super down tempo, like vibey shit. You're obviously going to promote that in a completely different way. Where then it's not going to be as much of like a club friendly song, but there's still so much of a demographic of listeners that love that type of music. And I think as an artist, it just makes you have a bigger catalog of music that people can listen to, where it's like they might not necessarily like the vibe of a Pick and Roll or every great story, but then this new song that comes out, they're like, okay, that's my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's what I love about music in general is everything I make may not be for everybody. You know, but like you said, I might have a specific demographic that really like the slow shit that I'm putting out, the deep thinking, the self-reflection music that I put out. We also got like my trappers, my dope boys, my one percenters, all my homies that do all this type of stuff. They're ready to get up and get after it. And they're you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're fucking with the high tempo, like they love that. So music's great. That's all I can say.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I feel the same way when I'm DJing too. I mean, you can't please everybody. There's always going to be the one person that, like, as soon as you drop a track, they're like, "Oh, this fucking guy."
Fuck that person.
Yeah.
fuck that. Hey, first of all, don't ever be that guy in the club. Let me say this right now. I know I don't got to get close to the mic, but don't you be that fucking guy in the club. I swear to God, nobody likes that guy.
I always think about it where it's like the guys in the club that get mad and like want the super like grimy hip hop tracks that like that no girl is liking these songs. Yeah, but they come up to the DJ, they're like, "Yo, why aren't you playing this? Why aren't you playing this?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm playing for the fucking 500 girls that are here that don't want to hear that shit." Right. And then like you're getting mad at the DJ being like, "Yo, I want to hear this fucking trap hip hop."
Who are you trying to go home with, bro?
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, we're trying to create a vibe here, bro. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. But so many people just like don't understand it. They're like, "Yo, like this is the number one song and they just want to hear it, and they don't get it, like that the other 90% of people aren't going to vibe to that at all," which is crazy to me.
Those people are not aware of their surroundings, and they're not self-aware, and stay away from those people. I'm just going to be honest. Like,
but no, it's always good when you get people that are just like open to all types of music.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I love getting crunk in the club. I love getting hype. I love when like the hard hip hop comes on. You see me over in my spot, I'm dancing, I'm doing security, I'm getting live. But there's a time during the night when it's that time. Like, don't ask for those songs at 10 o'clock. Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you asking for Not Like Us while I'm setting up my DJ equipment to get on.
Like, bro, we ain't even like the house band's not even done tearing down yet. You want to kick off the night like this? Like, no, bro.
No, it's funny.
It ain't gonna work.
Well, let's talk a little bit. I mean, we just got into some of the social media and branding that you've done on these last two songs.
Yeah.
With where music is right now, social media, content creation, all that kind of stuff is so important.
Yes.
Where it almost is a 100% necessity for artists, especially artists that are coming up that maybe aren't as established as like, I mean, even artists like a Drake and Morgan Wallen, all these bigger artists are still putting out a fuckload of content. But I would even go as far as to say it's more important for these artists that are coming up right now, because that's how you're going to reach out to these followers and get noticed by, whether it's you're trying to get signed by a label or you're trying to have an artist pick you up to bring you on tour, whatever it's going to be. Like, it is a necessity. You've been getting into a lot more of it lately, and just kind of tell me about what it's like, because I feel like for most artists, myself personally, like, it's hard to do that shit. It's hard to put out content. It's hard to kind of break out of the shell of like, you might not necessarily want to do it, but you have to.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the hardest thing for me now is to consistently do content, like knowing you have to be on camera and knowing you have to be in front of people, like nonstop. The music industry's changed, entertainment has changed just in general in the last so many years, and it's going to keep changing. You know, the kids of today are going to be the ones that are running the industry tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you got to realize these are screen babies. These are iPad kids. These are, you know what I'm saying, like TikTok kids. Like if the attention span is so short, if they don't see you every 2 days, they're not going to remember you. They're not going to know who you are. They're not going to, you know, pay attention or stick around to listen to the next thing. So you have to constantly figure out new ways to, I don't want to say draw attention to yourself.
Yeah. But you essentially
but for
are.
lack of a better words, be seen.
Yeah.
Now me, like guys like me, like where I've come from, like things I've done in my life, different places I've been, like we work most of our lives to like not be seen. So like that's why it's the hardest part for me. It's like, okay, now I'm in a place, like I'm doing this. Like I have to be on camera. I have to let people see me being me. I have to let them see the asshole me. I gotta let them see the fun loving me. I gotta let them see, you know, sad me, you know, whatever it might be at the time. Like you gotta be able to be vulnerable and actually like let them see you. That's part of just growing as an artist and actually like letting that fan base connect with you. So however you do your content or make your content or whatever image you're building or whatever side of you that you want that fan base to see, like you have to put out there. And you gotta do it consistently. Otherwise you're just gonna get lost in the wind with every other artist that says they want to do this that are too afraid to do it.
Yeah.
It's like Nike, just do it. Take that out. We don't have that sponsor.
But no, it's cool to see you diving into it and getting into it because I personally, I mean, I do think that shit is really hard. Yeah. And like right now, you're unsigned, no label or anything. You're just an independent artist.
No distribution. Yeah.
Yep. And then, so as far as like this content creation stuff, are you getting guidance from anyone else, or is this all just like stuff that you're putting in time researching, just kind of scrolling through stuff yourself, finding like, okay, cool, I like what this artist is doing, I like what this artist is doing, and then trying to emulate it in a way that makes sense for you and your brand?
That's the biggest way, I think, to really figure out what you're doing. Like I learned a lot of like the tactics and techniques, you know, at Dark Horse with David Mullen. Shout out David Mullen. But a lot of it is like, yeah, if you want to know and you want to learn, like go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go find like similar artists or bigger artists that are being successful doing what they're doing right now. See exactly what it is that they're doing. See how you can, you know, translate what you have to offer into like maybe those things.
Yeah.
And what's working for them may work for you. It may not, but you only know by trying. You only know by doing the research, by like taking the time and actually like putting it in.
Yeah.
So like at Barstool, I know a lot of like there's like really big TikTokers and stuff at Barstool that come into VIP
Adrian
all
is
the
always
time.
through there. Yeah,
Adrian's a great dude. He's one of the first people that I talked to.
I feel like Taylor Holder is there. Yeah,
Taylor
Bree,
Holder's sick dude. All of them super dope people, and I've talked to all of them individually. Like, what can I do? What can I do to like help kind of push this along? Like, I'm trying to get my hands on TikTok and like really figure out how to like actually work it. They're like, I don't even know how to work it for real. Like it just happened, and they all gave me the same answer. Was like, go and look at other TikTokers and other people that are similar to you and see what they're doing that works.
Yeah.
And just do that. That was their answer. I was like, it can't be that easy. It can't be. It kind of is. Now, I haven't had that one big moment that just ascends everything, you know, beyond what it is right now. But like everything's like slowly growing. Like everything's going up.
Yeah. What kind of reaction have you been seeing since you've been putting out more content? I mean, has it led to more streams of music for you?
Partially more streams. Most of my streams come from like the playlisting and the Spotify promo and everything that I get. But it leads to more like followers and more just overall engagement on my page, which like everybody wants to see, whether it's labels or management companies, production companies, distro, like anybody that's like paying attention to an artist that's like watching you on your page. They want to see all that correlate. They want to see the numbers. They want to see that you're posting every single day. They want to see like your engagements are real, whether they're positive, whether they're negative. And you'll get both. I get both.
Yeah.
You know, that's the biggest thing for me is being able to like put it out and like walk away. And like, you know what I mean?
Not
like
start
I'm like
engaging back
like,
in the comments.
It's out. I'm cool because I'll argue back. Like I'm petty. Like I'll sit there all day and like I have to train myself to not do that.
You're gonna have to get a fucking Kevin Durant burner account and start commenting back.
Exactly. But I'll go back like later on in the week, and then I'll go back like when I'm in a different headspace, and I'll go and like, even if it's like a like or whatever it is, I'll engage with all my comments right now just to drive engagements even further, which I won't always be able to do that once I get to the level like that I would like to get to. But I think engaging with your fans on your posts, I think is a great way to keep them.
Yeah. No, it's huge. I mean, I do that obviously all the time for platform stuff. Just being that like it's a mostly DJ following or like music related following that I get on here. I think it is really cool when other DJs reach out to me and they're like, yo, man, I've been loving the podcast, loving the discussions that you have. And I can't imagine just like not answering those people. And just then it's like that following. I feel like for me, if I was following somebody and I like reached out and was like, hey, man, I love the show, love the work that you're doing. And they were just like, fuck it. Like, you don't want to follow.
You don't even want to, engage, man. Like, that's what drives it. Like, that's the best part, I think, about Nashville is like, and so, some of these people engaging on my posts, like not only would like they engage with me on my post, they'll pull up to Barstool and come see me and dap me up like, oh, that new song is like, oh, that's sick. And that's like the coolest part for me because like I've never had that before. You know, anywhere else I've lived, I've never had like one place that I was at that like everybody's gonna come back and see me and, you know, give me my props or, you know, whatever it might be.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that. I mean, you obviously hit on some of these other people that are coming through to Barstool.
Yeah.
And that's from like a social media standpoint of some of these bigger people that are social media influencers. Like Adrian is always there, and he's someone that has over 1 million followers on social media right now. Is just popping on there, and he's the nicest dude. Every time he comes to Barstool, will come up, like talk to me about music. But then just the network of people that you can reach out to while you're working at Barstool. Because for those that don't know, like you work security at Barstool too.
Yes, I do.
And then we have everybody coming through from whether they're artists, whether they're athletes, whether they're social media influencers, whether they're people that work for Barstool in some sort of way and run a podcast or are social media influencers in any sort of way. There's always somebody that you're able to kind of rub shoulders with and connect with where you never really know who you could run into and if it could be the right person that you get your music in their hands and they're like, yo, shit, let's make this happen.
I mean, there's so many people, especially in the VIP over at Barstool. Like, that's my favorite thing about it. And that's why it works for me, is you never know who you're going to run into. Like, the biggest key to all this is being able to network and really talk to everybody. Like, people surprise me coming through. Like, I have an ego, and sometimes I feel like I should be the first to know when certain people walk through the door, or if certain people walk through the door. But it's like the biggest surprise to me when I'm standing in VIP, you know, getting our guests ready for the night, and, you know, the girls are bringing in their tables, and, you know, we just have like just the most random you can think of, from Mac McClung to Luke Combs to DeAndre Hopkins to Murder Beats to, you know, like the list just goes on and on and on. And it takes me back every time. And I have to like keep my composure and be cool and, you know, not fanboy out or anything like that, especially when it's like hip hop related guests. That's like the hardest thing to me. I gotta, all right, breathe, professional, smile, make sure they know I'm here, make sure they know whatever they need, I got it. And then, you know, if I can work in a conversation later, you know, I'll do it. And if not, then be as professional as you can be in that situation. But that keeps people coming back as well. Yeah, because I know like the connections that you make with other people, like you are very good at talking to people. You're very outgoing. Like you might be a soft-spoken guy to a lot of people, but like I feel like once I've gotten to know you, it's always been very, very easy to talk to you. And especially once you find like that mutual interest with music, like we could sit here and talk about fucking music all day. And it's easy, but then, I mean, just connecting with people just briefly in the club. And it's something that I feel like as a DJ, I do a lot where it's like, you got to network with these people, find out like what music they like. Like I've ran into like DeAndre and a lot of the other Titans players, and just knowing that they're there, even if it's super quick, just like going up, introducing yourself, like, yo, what's up? Like I'm Declan, I DJ here all the time. Like, what do you guys want to hear? And just finding out like that little bit where it's like it could be in the middle of the night and you work in that one song that you know that they want to hear. That's the shit where like
changes their entire night and then is going to keep them coming back too. So yeah, I mean, just building that network and making those connections for you as an artist too. It's like you fucking never know who is going to listen to your shit or who you're going to meet, where it's like, that's all it takes is one person to get a song and possibly put it on a label or have another artist take that song or whatever it's going to be. So
my favorite part about what you said was especially is sometimes it's just a, hey, how are you? My name is Declan. My name is Tyler. My name is Flaco, whatever it might be. You know, you don't have to swarm these people. You don't have to dick ride these people. You don't have to be a fanboy. You don't have to, you know, like little stuff goes a long way. Like simple, professional, hey, I'm here. Like be a presence, I'd say like that. Like don't be in their face about it, but be a presence to where like they see you, they notice you, you make some type of an impression. Yeah. And then just go be professional and do your job at the end of the night. And like they like that. You know, they'll come back to you. And they normally do every time. Like
it's crazy. It's just like, man, it's like treating them like normal people. It's crazy.
Amazing. Yeah. Like who would have thought? Who would have fucking thought?
Well, let's dive into your creative process. We obviously hit earlier that you are somebody that can do it all. So walk me through like a creative process on a song. Like some of these songs that you got coming up, where do you start? How do you kind of work your way through making a track?
So I have a couple different like writing processes. You know, if I'm just out and about, you know, you never know when like a melody's gonna hit you or like some bars will hit you. Like I might be in the car, I might be at work, I might be, you know, wherever. And if that's the case, I try to get the melody down in a note, or sometimes I'll hit it with the voice memo so I can try to remember it later and go put it on something and find a beat. But a lot of times I'll start with the beat first, you know, trying to find something I like, whether it's something that I produced or, you know, maybe a friend sent me a beat and I might fuck with it or rock with it. I kind of like bounce around with like the cadence and the flow first before I start sticking words to it. Like
just kind of humming shit.
Yeah. And then once I kind of get where I want to go and like get an overall vibe for the song, I'll start laying down words. And normally I might have like a perception or like a feeling or like something I want the song to be about, or it might just be like in the moment. Yeah. You know, it might just be like, I had a shitty day. I'm about to yell at this mic until, you know, whatever. Or maybe I want to rap about, you know, I had a falling out with my girl or something at the house. You know, maybe I want to rap about that. Like I'll start putting like how my day went into it. But it definitely varies. It varies on my mood. It varies on the day, but it gets done.
Yeah. So you typically start with that. I mean, how are you going about like writing tracks? Because any genre that I listen to, I listen to the music and then I'm just like, damn, like, why didn't I think to write this? Or like, because for the most part, a lot of these songs are relatable in some way. And it just like, it hits you in some emotional capacity or.
So I'm a firm believer in there's nothing new under the sun. Okay. Right? So I feel like everything we hear now, we've heard before. It's just about like
arrangement.
Who's going to say it differently? Yeah. You know, because at this point, this point in the world, like we've heard there's thousands and thousands of songs, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's who can say it the best, who can use the words that like touch people the most, that relate to people the most. It's just how are you gonna say it differently? Yeah. And that's opposed to like obviously everybody has like individual stories that they're writing about, and like those there are little variables here and there that like make things different. But the overall feeling of these like songs, they normally like they last, they stay. Yeah. Like me, I attach music to like memory and emotion, right? That's how like music works for me. Like any Drake album that ever dropped, right? You can name exactly where you were, what you were doing, what girl you were dating, who was stressing you out. You know what I'm saying? If I say nothing was the same, I was at Spartanburg Methodist on a basketball scholarship after fucking up my knee, and me and my girl from Savannah, Georgia was having issues. You know what I'm saying? Like I can.
And you're like, really, nothing was the same.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But because of that, sometimes I can't listen to certain songs anymore. Yeah. Because they take me back to a really emotional space, and I just won't do it. It could be one of my favorite songs in the world, but I just I won't take myself there ever again. Okay. So that's just kind of how I think of music and like where it goes, and all that adds into like how I make it, why I make it the way I make it, who is it necessarily for, when I'm making it. yeah, all that goes into the process, honestly.
And that's what I think makes it a million times harder to write a truly like good song right now.
Yeah.
Like the amount of talent that it takes to write music, especially in this day and age where there is so much music already out there. There's so much music that you have to differentiate yourself from. It has to be very, very difficult to do right now.
I mean, I think that's why I don't get along with a lot of the music that's being dropped today, is because I feel like it's all stuff that, like everything we've heard before. Like I've heard it before. You didn't really say it any different than the last guy said it. So why is this song better than that song? Why is this one going up the charts and that one not? Or like, I don't know, like, we'll get into it in a little bit when we talk about like music now and stuff like that. But like 2024 for me especially is like hasn't been like like music hasn't stuck to me this year.
I mean, to me and every other DJ in the world too. It's a lot of times I feel like a track is hot and I just know at the time, I'm like, this is going to be a track for 3 weeks maybe, and then nobody's going to want to hear it again. And it's hard because there's music coming out, and yeah, it could be good music, but it's not someone making like classics that is going to be around in 5 years, in 10 years, and still be playable. It's these tracks that, and I don't know if that's something that's like a social media thing or like a TikTok thing where it's like either A&R, like labels are having these people put out music, just put it out, or they're like looking at the analytics of like, hey, what's going to work? And they just want to have it out quick, knowing that it's not necessarily something that's going to stick and be there long term. It's weird.
And that kind of goes back to like what I said about everybody's attention span these days, is they only want music that's going to, stick in their attention span for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Something I think a lot of like the TikTokers, like musician wise, like make is like TikTok doesn't like it. Those views don't translate into streams on Spotify or like Apple Music. Now you might be getting paid from TikTok if you have so many million followers, but all those million followers for some reason aren't necessarily translating into the rest of music or wherever your music may be. Whoever your distro is or wherever you're releasing your music, it just hasn't translated yet. Instagram, more or less, for whatever reason, translates a little bit more into like accuracy of like what your numbers and stuff are on like Spotify.
If you're like properly tagging the track, or like does it just find it?
Once you have it, once you release it on your distro, something I've learned, I thought I had to go find it every time, but now when I upload like a video of one of my clips or whatever, it'll automatically find it and put it over there.
Damn. Yeah, that's kind of fucking crazy too.
It takes a little bit of load off of me.
So then as an artist, with like how that is right now, is it making you feel the need to like put out more music more frequently?
It makes me feel the need to put out even more content more frequently, more than just like the music. Because you'll see artists will put out 1,000 pieces of content for one song. Somebody shout out my boy Dez. I was talking to my boy Dez the other day. He had a little homie that was like, he's trying to push to do his music, and he's like, man, I only got one song, and he's like, I don't want to put a million things out for one song, and he's like, why? He's like, my homeboy Flaco puts out a video to the same song every day, and he's getting it. His shit is going up and it's grinding. So it's really just as much content as you can put out. And, if you want to like pay to promote, on Instagram or TikTok, like that sends it even further. Everybody wants their viral moment, but as long as you're like steady grinding and steady putting it out, you're going to reach the next person. Yeah. And it's going to keep you in the conversation. Yeah. But as far as like to continuously put out music, that varies. It really just depends what works for you. A lot of people use like a waterfall approach. What some labels or some companies will call it, and that's like, okay, put out a single, see, get the feedback, put out another single, get the feedback, put out another single, get the feedback, then drop a project, get that feedback, then start over. And like a lot of people see like growth over that over time, which works. It works. Me, I'm doing one at a time for a while till I feel ready to drop a project. So it might not be 2 or 3, it might be 7 before I drop like an actual project. But that's what's working for me right now. Yeah. So it just depends. Just depends. Everybody's different. Everybody's growth cycle is a little different. Everybody's fan base and, you know, who your music resonates is different. They think different. They might be on different platforms. They might be on different,
So I want to know this personally. How much are you sitting on right now? Whether it's beats, whether it's whole songs, what do you all have in the vault right now?
Oh, man. I mean, I probably have at least 3 projects worth of stuff. Like I'd say at least 3 probably full-length albums worth of music. Doesn't mean I'm using all of them. Doesn't mean I'm going to drop all of them. I'll probably take, you know, some of my favorites and, you know, like the storyline I was telling you about, kind of like making sure it all makes sense and adds into it. But I got quite a bit.
That's literally what my follow-up question was going to be, was with that many tracks to pick from, how do you select what you're going to drop next, what you want to pick to put out as that next single, that next track that you're going to add content for, all that kind of stuff?
It's just what resonates with me and how I feel like I can kind of tell my story the best that I can. Because some songs might not have nothing to do with the last or the next. You know, they might just be a hype song. I was feeling myself, so I decided to drop my nuts on a track that day, and I might, you know, that might be the whole point of that song. Yeah. Or it could be like a drawn out fucking love ballad and could be annoying as hell, which I'll probably never drop. But you know,
I would love to hear you.
They're in there too. Nah, it's gonna be talking about some hoes popping some pussy in a strip club or something stupid. Those are my love songs. That's where I'm.
You and Sexy Red on You My Everything.
Oh my god, bro! Shout out Sexy Red.
Well, yeah, let's get into some of this music now. I mean, outside of hip hop, are you listening to a lot of other music, or is that typically just like the main genre that you're listening to?
I mean, hip hop, trap, rap, however, like that's the main genre I listen to, but I do listen to a little bit of everything. Since I moved to Nashville, I'm way more appreciative of a lot of the country music.
Okay.
I know what a good country song is versus what's not so great. A lot of people don't know this. I'm a big fan of pop punk.
Okay.
One of the very first music bands I've ever listened to was Blink-182, and that's because I was like 4 years old with like a 16, 17-year-old older sister, and she would just like crank that out back in the 90s, and it was just like some of the very first music I ever like listened to. So I'm a fan. I love it. When they dropped their new album last year, loved it. I cried every other track. It was crazy. It was
first ever concert I went to was Blink-182 at Summerfest. Yeah.
I love Blink, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I remember it was like take off your pants and jacket and just all that shit.
Yep.
It was wild. And I would have never even known.
Yeah, man. I love it. It's just, I don't know, that punk outlook that like, I'm a dickhead, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And like, we think it's funny, even if you fucking hate it, we don't really care. Like, I just love that like outlook on everything. That's kind of one of my personalities in a nutshell. So I like a lot of, there's all kinds of pop punk bands. There's like MXPX. There's like, you got your Linkin Parks and you got your, all the, like I grew up on all that stuff.
Are you listening to any like pop, like top 40 stuff like that right now or no?
When it comes around, when it comes on in the club or if it, if I happen to have the radio on, which is occasionally, it pops up. I listen to a lot of, MGK pops up a lot. Yeah. Nowadays, I listen to a lot of Jelly Roll. Shout out Jelly Roll. I ain't met you yet, but shout out.
I would love
that's
to
crazy.
meet him.
I met Struggle Jennings at one of the boxing matches over at the Troubadour up near Opry Mills. Super nice dude, super cool, down to earth, humble, followed, liked my stuff. Super, super cool dude. But I listen to a lot of those guys just because it's like the culture of Nashville in a sense. And what
even
it is
like
now.
Guys like Jelly and MGK, where it's like those are dudes that do a little bit of everything too. Where MGK has done a bunch of hip hop, but he gets into that alternative stuff too, where you can kind of go back and forth. And then you look at a guy like Jelly starting in hip hop and rock and country and whatever you want to call it now, where it's like, he's country, but he still has, I feel like, a very like rock following as well too. And there's just a lot that you can kind of get into. As far as like your favorite artist right now, give me like your top 3 favorite artists or your top 3 favorite tracks that you're listening to right now. Besides your own.
I can probably go artists.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of music being done. Lil Durk.
Okay.
I'm listening to Dirk every day, every time I'm in the car. That's like the first so many songs I even listen to. It just hypes me up. I listen to a lot of stuff that just like is like gets me ready for my day or my night or whatever adventure I'm about to go on. Yeah, I'm fucking with Dirk. I listen to a lot of Kevin Gates.
Okay.
A lot of Kevin Gates. People hate it. Some people hate getting in my car. Like my girl gets annoyed. Like I'm like, no, we're gonna listen to this Luca Brasi 3 real quick. I'm about to go get some money. Let me see. Somebody else right now. Oh, a lot of Big X the Plug.
Okay.
Right now for sure.
Love him right now, man.
Oh, and that Mexican OT. I know that's 4, but
yeah.
those are my guys right now for sure that are
Big X the Plug is I feel like he's gonna be one of those next to blow up. If he can follow up everything that he's been putting out.
I think he's going to.
Yeah.
I think because he did it on like chill, old, like from R&B samples to old oldie samples, and like to maintain the flow that he has and to talk about the things that he has and to be able to get people hype on those type of tracks. Like, I think sky's the limit for dude, for real.
Yeah. And I think about it a lot too, of like artists now that he's put out a couple hits, like now I feel like you have more access to a lot more in the music world, where you might have people sending you a little bit better beats. You might have people helping you write stuff that is a little bit better for you, where then you're able to kind of keep that caliber, that quality of music for that next project or for whatever the next single is, whatever it's going to be. Now you have a little bit more help in a way, whereas like
we got a little bit more leverage too. You know what I'm
saying?
saying? Now you're kind of up in rank to where it's like people that maybe didn't want to rock with you before, and maybe I'm not gonna say didn't want to work with you, but like we're waiting for you to level up per se, to be able to know that like, oh, you're taking it seriously, or like you're really going to that next level. I feel like a lot of people are like that with me too. Like there's some people that are like outside, like kind of looking in, like watching, like, okay, what's he gonna do next? Before I start fucking with him, where's he gonna go from here?
Okay.
And I mean, when you're making as much noise as Big X the Plug, like it can't like I said, the sky's the limit. Everybody's probably jumping.
Yeah, because I feel like they might not have seen like value with having him on their song prior.
Yeah.
Where it's like now, especially business wise, you look at it and you're like, all right, cool. Like if I put a song out with him, you know, you're getting your following and now you're getting his following too. So it's only going to help you even more on streams, views, popularity, everything like that too. But yeah, I mean, like I think of getting started for newer artists, that's got to be something that's a lot harder too, where it's like you don't have the resources and the network to have 1,000 songs a day sent to you like somebody like fucking Drake is probably having, where he's literally getting to pick from all of these different beats that are being sent to him, but because people know if they are the person that Drake puts their beat out, you're getting paid.
Yeah, you're next up.
Yeah, exactly. And even just like being a songwriter on a song, like, and I feel like that's something that's different with hip hop too, where it's almost like frowned upon in hip hop to work with like other writers and not necessarily write the things yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be yours. That's just the culture of what hip hop is.
Yeah.
It's got to be your words. It's got to be your stories. It's got to be. I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be your stories per se. You could be telling a story of, you know, from your point of view of somebody else or whatever it might be. But it's got to be your words. I think it's starting to open up and be more lenient as far as like having people help write like the melodies more often than not now. But as far as like bar for bar, hip hop's different, bro.
It's crazy because like you think of country and it's like, bro, like country has writers rounds and every song is like 5-6 different people are credited for writing on that song.
Yeah. And that's like Nashville culture. Like that's deep. Like you got what is it, Bluebird Cafe? A lot of that started at. We just had there was like a cool writers round over at Live Oak the other day, which is one of the first ones I got to that wasn't like at like one of the like the older spots that like Nashville is really known for writers rounds. That's like the culture of the city. Like, okay, like we got a song, we got a hit, let's put our heads together and what can we do to make it better? Where can we take it next? Who can, you know what I mean?
I thought about it when like the whole Drake and Kendrick thing was going on, and Kendrick like specifically is talking about how Drake has like 20 people writing with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, that shit's normal in country.
Yeah, that's regular. That's regular here. Like they talk about it. They put it on a pedestal. I get invited to writer circles all the time. I plan on getting on some just to kind of like test out writing different type of music and different genres, especially with country. I think I'd be a really good like writer for country music. I just haven't dipped my foot in that environment yet.
I think that'd be something that's good for you to do. I mean, like we talked about prior, it's just something that's just making you a better all-around artist, where if you can write multiple genres, if you can produce multiple genres, like we were talking before, I look at a guy like Charlie Handsome, who has been credited with everything from Post Malone to Morgan Wallen to people of all different genres, where he's written songs for them, he's produced for them, and he's able to hop back and forth between these different genres and not only be like good at both of these, but like award-winning in multiple genres. And it's just, I mean, if you can do it, fucking do it, man. Yeah,
that's definitely a goal of mine. I don't want to, I mean, rap is in my heart. Like that's just what it is. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. But, I mean, I'm a writer. I'm an overall artist in general. I want to try my hand at different stuff as it goes along. Like, why not? Like, why? That my saying for this year has been, why the fuck not, bro?
Yeah.
Like, whenever a question comes up, like, do I want to do this? Should this happen? Should it go this way? Why the fuck not, bro? Send it. Yeah,
because you could have a whole complete different perspective than some of these people that have like grown up writing for country or stuff like that, where that might be the look that people are looking for. So, and there's so many hip hop artists transitioning over into country where, maybe that's what it takes to get inside that next hit, is having a brain from hip hop writing for country or something like that. So,
I mean, I'd try it out. I'd give it a shot. Like I said, why the fuck not, bro?
Hey man, you start writing about a truck and some dogs and some
I like
beer
dogs now.
we might have another hit. So. But I'm going to get into a section that I like to call New Heat or Delete. If you're wanting to listen to the New Heat or Delete, a lot of times these get taken out because YouTube just hates on music. So if you want to listen to these, pop over to Apple Podcasts, pop over to Spotify, and you'll hear this segment. So that's his new one there too.
Got kicked out of the house at 14 and I'm still thugging. It's a lot of people that feel that. There's a lot of people that been there. I'm going to just say that. I ain't going to give too much away, but it's a lot of people that feel that.
You're like, that's a lyric you could have wrote, huh?
Man.
Yeah. What do you think about that one? That's a hit?
I'm fucking with Boss Man D-Lo all the way, bro. All the way.
I'll tell you what, man. We get Devondre Sweat, one of the new draft picks from the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Comes through the bar stool a lot.
He cool. He's
nicest
super cool
dude ever, bro. Yeah, like super, super nice. Introduced himself to me when we came up on stage. Huge Boss Man D-Lo fan. Yeah, that's like always like his go-to request.
Yeah. Oh, I think I seen y'all up there that one day. Yeah. Well, I don't know what night it was, but y'all were just up there just bopping.
Yep.
That was
Yeah, he was there on
great.
Saturday. Text me. He's like, "Yo, hit me with some Boss Man." I'm like, "All right, I got you.
I got you."
But yeah, I mean that's another one where he's been putting out some good tracks. But beat wise, I mean, I like the beat for all three of those, especially if you are, for me, like if you're DJing at a spot that is a hip hop room, all three of those, I think for me, are going to be heat. Those are ones that are going to work. Crowd is going to enjoy, and hopefully ones that are going to be playing out for more than a couple weeks and stick around a little bit too. So
I mean, they're all up tempo. They all make you feel something, motivate, hustle. They make bitches want to throw ass. Like that's your key in the club right there. It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
3 keys to the track right there.
It's gonna work.
Well, let me hit you with this rapid fire round. We got a couple questions lined up for you here. So first one was going to be, if you could collaborate with any artist where you are producing a song for them, they're putting it out, who would it be?
Oh man, producing, let me say, I mean that Mexican OT, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
That Mexican OT, he's one of my favorites right now. I got a lot of ideas. It's like our styles kind of like, I can see how they can coexist on something and with something. I think it'd be a banger.
Okay. What about if you were to hop on a track with someone where you're a feature or they're a feature on your track, you're big enough where you can have them hop on as a feature, who would you pick?
I'm going Kevin Gates.
Okay.
That's just been like
I thought it was gonna be Dirk.
just been Dirk too, but I think I can make a banger with Gates. I just got, I don't know, something about the voices and the storytelling that gets involved in it. Like I think it would go up if I had the opportunity to. But I've been wanting to say that for a long time though.
Okay. I know we touched on it a little bit ago, which is funny because it just randomly we started talking about it, and I was gonna have it as one of the questions. So let's say it this way then instead. If you had to produce for another genre, what genre would you pick?
I'd go back to pop punk because we talked about it a little bit. I think I could bring some heat.
Okay.
I did a little bit when I was in school and like in class doing like music business and the artist development program over there and at Dark Horse. Basically they bring you into like an A&R type setting, right? Like kind of just start you off basically to like teach you like how this really works.
Yeah.
And I dug out a lot of pop punk, a lot of really good pop punk, and I was like impressed with myself being able to bring it and like getting it voted in to go to the next level. We put on like a showcase. We had to like vote them in to see, you know, who's going to get picked. I was surprised with myself. I think I got good taste, so I think I could definitely mix it up.
Yeah, seeing that you've already tried it out a little bit.
Yeah,
right.
I think I could do it.
Okay.
I think I could do it.
Who is one artist that you would like to see booked in Nashville? Because I feel like hip hop wise, we don't really get a lot of artists coming through here as much as a lot of other cities. So who's one person you would like to see come through?
We got to bring some of the females out. I feel like the rap that has been booked in Nashville since I've been here, they're actually like rappers like I like and would listen to. So I wouldn't be able to say from my perspective that they don't.
Yeah, because you had like Drake, you've had Travis Scott here.
You know, Kevin Gates, Mexican OT, like all these guys, like we just talked about, they've all kind of been here. Let's go. Has Glorilla been here yet? I think that would go.
Sexy Red was here.
Sexy Red been here, and Glorilla ain't been here. Glorilla from Memphis, she right there.
I think Sexy Red was just at like it wasn't at like it was at like Brooklyn Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, I forget when it was because it was like Tay Money and them came to.
She did like a whole show, or it was like a
I don't remember what it was, but I know like Tay Money came to Barstool when I was DJing.
Wow.
And she was they were like on tour with Sexy Red, so. But I don't think it was like a bigger venue. That's why I'm like even still like someone like that. But yeah, I don't think Glow has been here at all.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Glow on the female side, and then I'm gonna go Dirk on the other side.
Okay.
But,
there we go. There's Dirk.
I'm gonna go Dirk on the other side because I would go stupid. I ain't gonna lie. I would go stupid. I would call out of work that day. I'm texting Monday right now, like, hey, bro, I ain't gonna make it, bro.
Can't make it. Yeah. Unless he's coming through.
Yeah, unless he's coming here. And you know.
If you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. One artist the rest of my life? What artist can give me everything?
Yeah, like you got to pick somebody whose catalog is deep enough that you get some variety for the rest of your life. And you're not just picking somebody with like 20 songs, and now you only got 20 songs to pick from for the rest of your life.
Man, I'm going to go... Oh, I'm going to go Lil Wayne, bro, because he's got catalog on catalog on catalog. He's got a song with just about everybody you can think of.
Yeah.
I have a lot to choose from.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go Wayne.
He's got to have, I mean... damn near 1,000 tracks. I feel
he's got all the pop stuff he's done with people. He's got the whole Rebirth album. He's done the rock side of things.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to have like 500 some tracks.
If not more.
Yeah,
if not more. Yeah, I'm going Wayne.
So you're no shortage there to run out of stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah, man, that's it. I definitely got to say thank you again for coming by, stopping on the show. Last thing I need you to do is to give me somebody that you're going to put on a platform. So. Any person, brand, could be a restaurant, whoever you want, just to shine a little spotlight on. Let these listeners, let these viewers know a little bit about, so that way they can go check them out.
So I had to think about this. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days because there's so many people I could say, especially now, like that have been reaching out and helping and just really all around good dudes. But I wanna put my dog Ben Parent. He goes by the 93rd Floor.
Okay.
He's an artist. He's more like Christian pop artist, but his music's great. great songs. He's on the come up like I am right now. We went through the same program together. And he's starting to make a little bit of leeway with his lane as well. So he's got a new song out right now called Never Knew You. And I think it's a banger. He's got a lot more coming too. I might even have something in that realm coming up.
Okay.
Shh, don't tell nobody yet. Don't tell nobody. But yeah, great artist. Definitely go check him out for sure.
Awesome. That's a good one to put on there. I'll make sure I attach all his socials on there so you guys can go check him out, listen to his stuff too. Anything else you got to plug? Anything upcoming? What else do we need to know from Flaco2Tall?
I mean, there'll be more songs coming out soon. I should have a couple more before the year goes out if everything goes as planned. I'm not going to give too much away, not yet. And I got some shows, some different stuff I'm trying to work in. Definitely trying to hit Skydeck soon. Not sure exactly when or what date that'll be yet, but I'm definitely going to try to work that into place. So just stay tuned.
Okay. So yeah, stay tuned to socials. Make sure you guys are following him. I'll have all his links on the description of the episode. Instagram is at Flaco2Tall. Go check him out. Stream all his latest songs. If you guys are out here in Nashville, stop by and see him at Barstool. Stop by and see me there. I'll be able to play it so you guys can hear it too. So yeah, again, I'm DJ Dex. If you guys aren't already, follow me on Instagram. Follow the show. If you're listening to those DJ mixes every Monday, we got new mixes put out by some of the best DJs in the world, hour-long mixes to get you through that car ride, that workout, whatever else you need. So one more time, thank you, man, so much for being on the show.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much,
Appreciate
bro.
it. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Peace.
That's crazy.
Check. Mic check. 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?